Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Machin Leira Online Smicha. One of the controversial issues, halachic issues, not necessarily halachic issues, because halachically it's pretty clear during pregnancy, is ultrasound. Is it something that's permitted, encouraged, or maybe not allowed, and perhaps asked not to be done? Now, I have to make very clear when discussing this issue, we're not talking about in a case where there's a chashash sakana, where there's something that's a red flag, and we have to find out what's going on. That's a league of its own. That's a whole set of pekuach nefesh issues, sakana issues, where it's a different question, a different issue. Now we're talking about when somebody just wants to know what's going on. He wants to know if it's a boy, the baby is a boy or a girl, for whatever reason. Even if he wants to know because she's a wife of a kohen, and the baby would be a kohen, she wants to know if she has to be careful with all the dinim of tumah for the fetus. Or, and achrayim they talk about, it's kaparas time, and if you know if it's a boy or a girl, or you know how many babies there are, you know exactly what to use for kaparas. No, I'm not going that direction. I'm just speaking about the general idea of going through the procedure to whatever this procedure of ultrasound to get some more information. Now, what good is it going to do to the person? Actually, there is a medrash. The medrash is brought, and it says like this: Shiva Dvarim. There are 7 things that are concealed. Mechusim b'bnei Adam. It's a medrash. Rabbah told this Yud Beis. There are 7 things that a person doesn't know. He's not meant to know. And one of the 7 things are, and one of the things that he doesn't know how long he's living. And then one of the things is ma bi'ibura shel isha. When a woman gets pregnant, he doesn't know what the fetus is, what the baby is, a boy, girl. You don't know at that point what's going to happen. Since the Medrash says it's mechusim b'nei Adam, maybe it's not important to know. And some say if there is no reason, if there's no red flag, there is the hashkafa concept that the Eibishter is always makdim refuah lamaka. If God forbid, if all is going good, and now you are trying to outsmart the system, then you might hear something, you might be creating the problem. So you should know that there's something to be careful about. But if you wouldn't even know, as of right now, it's all status quo, the refuah is fine. So it's better not to know, unless there are medical signs that are telling you that the makkah is already there, then you do whatever the doctors say. Now, the procedure itself is a procedure that's questionable. There's a story that Rabbi Groner, the Rebbe's masker, says, and he said that the Rebbe was totally opposed to ultrasounds. He held, according to Rabbi Groner, the Rebbe held that it's a great sakana for the fetus. And he says he even has a handwritten note from the Rebbe. In fact, Rabbi Groner says that he remembers an article in the New York Times 50 years ago with a recommendation for pregnant women, do not rush into ultrasounds. And the Rebbe shows Rabbi Groner this article, and he says this: As ich sag, folgt mir nicht. When I say, maybe not everybody will listen. Weil es steht in the New York Times, wird man folgen. But if they told them that it says in the New York Times that it's not the best thing to do, and obviously they're not talking because of the hashkafa, they're talking because it's not healthy for the fetus, then at least whatever it is, the Rebbe held it wasn't healthy either, but he says so, and he says tell the women that even in the Goyish world they're saying it's not so. It's not so healthy. Now, again, if it's not needed, the poskim of today, Lamashal, Rabbi Nasha Klein, Rabbi Yoshev, just to check out, just to have ultrasound to know if the baby is a boy or a girl, or if it's an Ashes Klein, as mentioned, to know if the child has to be careful of Tumah V'Taira, you don't need it. Now the problem also becomes if a person, God forbid, if a woman, God forbid, finds out something she's not happy with, then it kicks into another possibility that she might start thinking of Rahman al-Tlan having an abortion, which we know according to Torah is not allowed. So do preventive medicine. Don't even get that information right now, and hopefully it will be makdim refuah l'maka, and no negative will happen, and all will be good, and everything, as Chazal tell us, the whole childbirth is a form of a mess, and let it stay in the hands of Hashem.